The Holy Gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ, according to Matthew.
Glory to you, Lord Christ.
Jesus said to his disciples, "About that day and hour no one knows, neither the angels of heaven nor the Son, but only the Father. For as the days of Noah were, so will be the coming of the Son of Man. For as in those days before the flood they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day Noah entered the ark, and they knew nothing until the flood came and swept them all away. So too will be the coming of the Son of Man. Then two will be in the field, one will be taken and one will be left. Two women will be grinding meal together. One will be taken and one will be left. Keep awake, therefore, for you do not know on what day your Lord is coming. But understand this: if the owner of the house had known in what part of the night the thief was coming, he would have stayed awake and would not have let his house be broken into. Therefore, you also must be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an unexpected hour." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Christ.
Many of you are no doubt familiar with Samuel Beckett's play Waiting for Godot, or at least with the title, if not the actual play. In it, two friends, Vladimir and Estragon, meet day after day, waiting for the arrival of Godot. A withered tree stands nearby. The audience does not know who this Godot is. He said he would come. The two men believe him. All Vladimir and Estragon know is that if they are not there when Godot arrives, they may get into trouble. So they sit and wait, passing the time in dull and repetitive conversation. One lonely day creeps after another. Late each day, a boy comes to notify them that Godot will not be here today, but will come tomorrow. Tomorrow comes and tomorrow goes, and still they wait in vain. Occasionally they talk about waiting no longer. Perhaps we should go. Yes, perhaps we should. But still they sit motionless. The first act ends, Godot has not come. The second act begins, and the same conversations are heard. They dangle on a string of hope which seems to unravel a little more with each empty day. The play ends. Perhaps we should go. Yes, perhaps we should. But the two men do not move. The curtain drops upon them, and we leave them waiting. When Waiting for Godot first appeared on Broadway in 1956, Brooks Atkinson reviewed it for the New York Times, writing, "Faith in God has almost vanished, but there is still an illusion of faith flickering around the edges of the drama. It is as though Mr. Beckett sees very little reason for clutching at faith, but is unable to relinquish it entirely." Since then, Godot has been a tremendously popular play. I think it's popular because there are many who identify with Vladimir and Estragon, many who resonate with that lonely, unfulfilled waiting for something in life, waiting for something that never quite seems to arrive, a deeply felt yearning for a reality, a peace that is always anticipated, always just around the corner, but never coming to pass. If Beckett is right, and such hopeless waiting is the modern human condition, what does that say to us today? What does it say to us about our hope? What does it say to us about Advent? Advent is about waiting. And usually we say it's about waiting for God. It is our conviction that this season is a reminder that we live between the two comings of Christ, the first coming in a manger in Bethlehem, and the second coming at the end of all things, when Christ will appear to set things right. We say that we live in an Advent time, that moment in history when we await God's final day of peace. But what if, just what if instead of us waiting for God, what if it is God who is waiting for us? What if God is the one who waits? What if we are sitting, like Vladimir and Estragon, passively waiting for God to come and to rescue us, but all the while God is waiting for us to set things to rights, waiting for us to set aside the terrible conflicts and make the world whole, waiting for us to beat our swords into plowshares, waiting for us to change spears into pruning hooks, waiting for us to cease lifting swords against one another, waiting for us to stop teaching war. What if God is waiting? Our Jewish sisters and brothers offer us an understanding of our role in the world from which I think we can learn. It is called Tikkun Olam, and it means, quite literally, to repair the world. This work is one of building shalom, the work of salam, the work of peace, but not a peace that is just an absence of war, rather a peace that is best described as the fullness of creation as creation is meant to be, a restoration of the universe to wholeness, a universe at one with God and itself. That is the work of Tikkun Olam. That is the work of repairing the world. Take note of what we're talking about here. We're not talking about waiting for God to intervene and to rescue us. Tikkun Olam calls us to take responsibility for our world, to enter into a partnership with the divine, to become co-creators with God. Years ago, while surfing the internet, I ran across an excellent image for this concept. It was a website, no longer is around, but it was a website for a project that was known as the Tikkun Olam Coexistence Track, a project that would bring Jews and Palestinians, men and women between the ages of 22 and 28, would bring them together for 4 or 5 or 10 months to live and work side by side. On this website, there were a series of photographs of young people doing handstands. And the photographs of these young people had been taken and turned upside down so that they appeared to be holding up the world above their heads, supporting the world with their own efforts. If Advent is a period of waiting, if we are an expectant period, then what precisely are we waiting for? Are we waiting for God? Or is God waiting for us? Is this some sort of a divine standoff between God and us? Or is it an opportunity for an exciting partnership between the divine and the human? Perhaps it is both. But today I want to invite you to the observance of a Lent, or an Advent, spent in a waiting that is more than just patience. Today I want to invite you into an Advent spent in active waiting. An Advent that doesn't just wait for God to repair the world, but also takes hold of our lives and our actions. It's time to turn the world on its head. It's time for us to uphold the world. Maybe that seems overwhelming. It does to me. I know that in spite of all my hopes and all my desires, I cannot alone repair the world. Certainly not on my own. The swords will remain swords. The spears will remain spears. But just because I can't repair the world today or tomorrow or maybe even ever, just because I can't repair the world, that doesn't mean that I get to stop trying. It's an Advent lifetime that we are called to embrace, a lifetime of actively working and waiting for that day of peace, that day of shalom, of salam. And along with us, I dare say, God doesn't stop waiting. Until next time, here is a poem by Yehuda Amichai, appropriate to this first Sunday of Advent. In it, Amichai suggests that certainty can become hard ground, but doubt and love, like a plow, open us to the quiet voice that grows new life.
Place Where We Are Right, written by Yehuda Amichai, translated by Stephen Mitchell, and read by Padre Gotuma.
From the place where we are right, flowers will never grow in the spring. The place where we are right is hard and trampled like a yard. But doubts and loves dig up the world like a mole, a plough, and a whisper will be heard in the place where the ruined house once stood.